If 17-year-old Gladys Hewitt is suing her former employers, Michael Colludi and Natasha Williams, for unpaid wages. Gladys says she was a live-in babysitter for the defendant, but the situation became uncomfortable when Michael started pinching her, leaving bruises on her arms. However, Michael and Natasha claim they were helping the plaintiff, who was a drug user, by giving her a steady job and a place to live.
All right, Gladys Hewitt is suing Michael Colludi and Natasha Williams, and Gladys is suing her former employers for unpaid wages and court costs. Is that correct, Gladys?
That's correct.
All right, tell me why you're here today.
All right. I grew up pretty fast. I've been basically out on taking care of myself since I was 14. I ran away, and my sister was in the hospital with massive amounts of fluid around her lungs.
With what?
I ran away.
But your sister was in the hospital?
Yes, in an ICU unit with massive amounts of fluid around her heart and lungs, and my mom was under a lot of stress, and she decided it was best for me to not live with her. So I had nowhere to go. I went to my father and told him I had nowhere to go. And
were your father and mother living together at the time?
No, they just separated.
All right, so your sister's in the hospital. Your mother can't deal with the stress, so she tells you have to move out.
Right.
Does your mother make arrangements for you to go somewhere?
No.
So he's in the area. What
Yes.
does he tell you?
He tells me that, of course, I can move in. I always have a home with him. And I told him, I want to get up and get emancipated. I told him all my plans. And he told me, I have a friend who needs a babysitter. So I was like, all right, I'll meet them. And once we went over for dinner, and I talked to Michael and Natasha, and they talked to me about babysitting.
And that's the two of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, and are you the father?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
How old are you now, Gladys?
I'm 17.
17? Okay, go ahead.
All right. For the first time when I babysit for them, I babysit their son, Michael David. I stopped babysitting for them because I was going through personal issues, dealing with parents splitting up and dealing with my mom telling me I couldn't live with her. And the main reason was my girlfriend, Courtney, brought the cops to their home, and they were asking questions. So after that,
Wait a minute. Your girlfriend, Courtney, brought the cops to the defendant's home?
Correct.
How did she do that?
She wasn't supposed to be with a minor, and she was. They were asking questions about that.
Michael and Natasha. All right, Gladys is a babysitter who's introduced to you by her dad.
Yes.
She babysits for your son. What's his name?
Michael David.
Michael. And she has a girlfriend named Courtney.
Yes.
And the police come to your house looking for Courtney.
Yes.
No.
They were looking for Courtney because
Courtney
her
was not
mom
there.
had a restraining order against her because she is a pedophile.
Courtney's a pedophile.
Courtney's pedophile. Yes.
Your Honor, that is a
Okay,
false
Dad, come on up.
accusation.
Maybe you can shed some light on this.
That is a very
What is your
false
name, please?
accusation.
Don't talk. Go ahead.
My name's Lowell Hewitt.
Okay. Why did you want her to work for Michael and Natasha?
They seem to be good people.
All right. What's the deal with Courtney? Do you know anything about Courtney?
Well, my ex-wife, she's in with another relationship with another person, and they had a child. Well, he has a child.
Right.
And supposedly, him and her, Courtney, got together.
Okay.
From that point on.
Hang on. Courtney is your daughter's girlfriend. Courtney got together with your ex-wife's new guy and was with him for a while?
No, it was his daughter.
How old is the daughter?
14, 13.
That's where the pedophile comes in. I get it.
Yes.
Sit down. Thanks, Dad. All right, Gladys, what are you suing them for?
I'm suing them for unpaid wages. Second time I babysit for them. Once again, they come to me and say they need a babysitter. I was in between what I wanted to do. I was trying to get emancipated, and I was trying to build up with if I wanted to graduate or get my GED, what college, set out in life. But anyways, I started working for them for about 2 weeks.
Did you move in?
For 2 weeks, I worked for them without moving in. And Michael was like, you're spending all your time here, you might as well move in. Because I was just going to school.
What was the living situation?
At first, me and Natasha, we were good friends. We could talk and sit down and drink tea and watch TV and watch the babies. And Michael, he was joking. I could play cards with him. And it was a good environment at first. And then things just started getting very uncomfortable.
How?
Well, Natasha, she was working night shift, and Michael, he worked day shift. I babysit in between when he was at work and she was at work. I babysit, and I became the live-in nanny basically. And it started off as I started giving him, I gave him a back massage once. Yeah, I grew up around guys, so giving a back massage to somebody wasn't really much. I gave back massages to all my friends.
Was the wife around when you did this?
No. Well,
okay.
Anyways, he took the back massage to a whole nother level. He just started making little small comments. I mean, I might have took them wrong, but it just made it uncomfortable for me. I just started backing away, thinking about the situation. Okay, hey, I'm living here in another person's home, and things are just starting to get uncomfortable, and I have nowhere to go. So I was going to make it work as long as possible because my father ended up getting arrested and going to jail.
For what?
2 consecutive DUIs. Well, once I moved in, Michael, and not as much as Natasha, but mostly Michael, became controlling and nitpicking, and he was possessive of what I did. If I were to leave the house, he wanted to know when I came back. He wanted to be like the father figure. And
how far did the massages go, Gladys?
Just a massage on the back.
Okay, good. All right, so he's manipulative and controlling, and you're babysitting the baby?
Yes, I'm babysitting 2 babies at this point. They had another son, Vincent, and I was getting into a lot of trouble, and they helped me stay good.
What kind of trouble?
I got into some trouble with my girlfriend, Courtney.
Like what?
My mother put a petition out where we weren't supposed to be around each other because she didn't want us being around each other. But I wasn't living with her. She just put it out.
Well, what did she allege in the petition? In other words, for a mother to bring a petition against a child with whom she is not living, she would have to make some pretty serious allegations.
She didn't make any allegations other than she doesn't like me being gay, for one. And for 2, she didn't like the whole Courtney was with her husband's daughter and her husband's daughter,
right.
And she was too young. She didn't like it at all.
Do you know that Courtney is with younger girls?
Yes, I've known Courtney all my life, basically.
Courtney, though, has been with younger girls.
She's only been with a few that I know, like 1.
Like how old?
She's my age. No, she's a year and a half younger. She's 14.
You know that's a crime.
Well, Courtney was 17 and the girl
That's still a crime.
Yes.
Do you understand that a 17-year-old having sex with a 14-year-old is a crime? She's a pedophile. We're accustomed to thinking that pedophiles are dirty old men in raincoats. Pedophiles can be pretty young 17-year-old girls having sex with 14-year-old girls. You're going to get yourself in a heap load of trouble hanging out with that girl. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So why are you suing them?
I moved out in August. They were going on a trip to New York. And I was thinking about everything that was happening, everything that has happened. I was talking on the phone with my boyfriend at that time, but my ex-boyfriend now. Michael was nitpicking at me and saying things. And
Are you gay or heterosexual? Or are you bisexual?
Well, most would consider bi, yes.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, well, anyways, he comes up behind me and he pinches my arms. He grabs the back of my arms and pinches and leaves bruises like this.
Did you take pictures of that?
No. I didn't think
anything. What'd you say to him?
Well, I told him it hurt and I slapped him in the head. And, react like anybody else would react. Well, anyways, I went to work and my manager told me I needed to move out. She says, once you get bruises on you, it could lead to much more bigger things. Girl, you need to get out there. So I was like, all right. I took that into context.
Okay. So why are you suing them? Let's cut to the quick here.
All right. Instead of paying me, they were tight on money. So I made up an agreement. Since I was living with them, I would only charge $20 every time I babysit the kids alone. And that would go down in a logbook and it would add up to $1,500 so I could buy his 2003 Chevy Cavalier.
Okay. Do you have this logbook?
No, when I moved out, they had everything.
Okay.
And
But
when
there
I came
was
back,
no
there was
problem.
nothing
You
there.
had a system that you were comfortable with.
Correct.
Good.
And
now, start at the beginning.
Okay. The agreement was this. She did not come up with it, first of all. I came up with it. To give her an incentive, to do good, to get out of that situation and make something of herself. The agreement was she would live there. She would have to abide by the house rules. Just basic, standard, respectful rules when you live in somebody's house. Stay out. Don't be on the phone 11, 12 o'clock at night. yes, when you go out, tell me where you're going, when you're going to be back, be back at a respectful time.
True?
Correct.
Never happened. There was many nights where I got woke up 1, 2 o'clock in the morning because she's yapping on the phone. Irritates me because I get up early, go to work in the morning. All right. Now the agreement also said about the babysitting. From the time Natasha is at work till the time I get home, which is 3 or 4 days a week, depending, she would get $20 towards the car. Okay. It was a 2002 Cavalier.
1 year.
All right. Then another stipulation was for her to have a part-time job so she could have some money to do things, to buy her cigarettes.
That's very interesting. You're treating her in a very interesting way. I mean, making sure that she has a job and
yeah. I
treated her like our daughter.
We couldn't afford to, give her money to go get clothes or anything like that, or her cigarettes.
So you told her to get a job, and you were setting parameters for her.
Yeah, rules and regulations. She also, stipulation was either graduate or get your GED. She did get her GED. We didn't ask her for any money. We didn't ask her to pay any money while she was living there. Her dog was there. Her dog was pregnant.
Pregnant?
Yes, her dog was pregnant.
Did it give birth?
Yes, to 6 wonderful puppies.
In your house? In their house?
In our rental house that we were renting.
6 puppies?
I
What'd you
couldn't
do
really
with
do
them?
anything once they started,
Coming out. No, you can't stop it. Once they start coming, you can't stop. Trust me. She may be young, but trust me on this
She
one.
lived there. She's not abiding by the rules. The simple rules.
She's a teenager. She's out of control. She's got some issues.
She didn't really have a structured life. She was able to do what she wanted, when she wanted, how she wanted. I told her it wasn't going to be like that here. Okay? So we go to New York. I asked her, you're going to stay here and take care of the animals, correct? My dog and her dog. She says yes. We call the next morning when we get up to New York. She answers. She's there. Call that evening. No answer. Call several times. No answer. So here I go. I'm having to contact one of my friends to come and check on the animals. My dog's out on the lead, no food, no water. Her dog's nowhere to be found. When we get back, her dog's still nowhere to be found, and neither is she. Her stuff is still there.
What happened?
All right. Well, she come back around December, got her stuff.
December? What month did you go away?
It was August.
Well, how is that responsible on your part? These people take you in. They give you the structure that you didn't have in your own house. Your father's in jail. Your mother's too busy with your sister. Or you got a girlfriend who's having sex with underage kids. They're trying to get you to get a GED. They help you out. And you can't even take care of their dog when they're out of town, and then you disappear? Why would you do that? Come on, Gladys. You've got to have some sense of responsibility. I don't care how old you are. You're bright, you're beautiful, you speak very well, you know when people are looking out for you, and they were. How do you just up and leave someone like that? When people are good to you, you have to pay them back.
Yes, I do have a problem with running away from things, but...
Well, you know what? Apologize to them.
I did try to apologize.
Well, apologize to them now.
Well, I'm very sorry, Mike.
All right, so now, what do you want from this?
Nothing.
Good.
Nothing.
What do you want?
All right, I saved up $800 it was over $800, but I'm only asking for $800. I was talking to Natasha, and first thing I did was ask about the car. And she says, oh, Michael traded it in for a truck. So I'm like, this wasn't...
You traded the car in that she was trying to buy?
Yes.
There's an explanation.
There's
Why?
more
Make
to
it
that.
fast.
Well,
Why?
okay.
Well, for one, she didn't live by the rules of our contract that nobody signed but her.
I didn't even sign
And second of all, she did say that she was going to give us money on top of working for the car. She never did. Mm-hmm. So at that point, when she left and never came back, I went back into construction. I needed a truck.
All right, so you
She
sold it.
defaulted.
In other words, you
didn't make
didn't
any
feel an
payments.
obligation.
I didn't feel no
Okay,
obligation,
good.
Your Honor.
There is no question that this $20 logbook, according to her calculations, added up to the $800. Okay. Let me tell you what we're going to do here. The issue for the court is whether or not the defendants owe the plaintiff the $800 that everyone admits is the amount of money that that is due to her based upon her making $20 for babysitting. They have to pay her that $800. There is no way you cannot pay her that. The truth is that you took it upon yourselves to be good Samaritans, and you provided a great life for her. You provided structure for her. You provided some sense of family to her, and in return, you agreed to pay her $800 or that $20. And by the way, I don't have a problem with their selling the car because you took off. When you took off in August and didn't have the courtesy to call these guys, you have absolutely no right to lay claim to that truck. So my verdict is on behalf of the plaintiff for $800. And by the way, you should thank them for everything they did for you. That's my verdict.